How's it going? Woo! I have no idea where I was in the song. I can't hear it. Zach can hear it, but I didn't ask him. How's it going, everybody? Happy Sunday. Here we are. Back home. Back home. Tony, Izzy, Greg, Sir Goodenough had my first message right at the top of the hour. So first by minutes. Oh, nice. All right. Notification in Discord that says I'm streaming. Things are working. What could be better? I can't think of anything. Reese, Carol, Philip, Bart. All right, who's here for the first time? Nexus, Nerd TV. Nice. Who's here for the first time? That's what I want to know. John? Hey, how's it going? You're not here for the first time, though. You've been around for a long time. Maybe you haven't been on a live stream before. That could be it. Kai here's for the first time. Reese is not here for the first time. Oh, hey, before it all melts. Oh, it's almost melting already. Snow. Snowed today in the backyard. Greg's first time. Jose. Joshua. Oh, all right. Slice Keeper. Franz. How's everybody doing? Did you guys watch some of... if you guys watched some of Quindor's stream yesterday, I was on there for a second and I was talking about cameras. And yeah, thanks. It's a nice view. Here's Zach. So I was playing around with this action camera and got it hooked up to OBS. That's a pretty good picture. I wonder, is that a better picture? Is that a better picture than my webcam? Okay. All right, I'm going to turn it off now. I was just playing around with it, and the cords aren't long enough to actually make it useful for this stream. So it's going to be off for now. I got to get it out of the way. Maths U's first live stream. Fantastic. Fantastic. Good job. My kids aren't in the room seeing that snow. Oh, good. Are they jealous, Tony? They be jealous of the snow? All right, Rasby. Resubscribed on Twitch. Let's do this while we warm up. Can't hear the music. Da 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 da. 2 streams in a row. Seeing the upper half of Zach. All right, Kevin's first time. Fantastic. Thanks for being here, everybody. It did snow last night, Will. It's not snowing anymore, and it's actually probably going to be melted in the next half hour. It's already started to melt quite a bit. But it was snowing earlier today and last night. A lot last night. So I have the paging system on for those of you Radiants that have paging privileges. I beat you, and you're in Canada, right? Should not have beaten you. All right, Sahan, thanks for subscribing. Let's do the unicorn farts. Fantastic. All right. Alex, first time in a while. Fantastic. All right, so just outside of Toronto. Okay, cool. You're in an hour earlier. No winter time change in the U.S.?
What?
Did the time already change? It hasn't changed yet.
No. It's been... We did do...
Did we do a time change?
Yeah, I believe we did.
I think, we do have it, guys. It's kind of a screwy thing because I think most states do it, but not all states do it. So some states will be in one time zone for part of the year and a different time zone for the other part of the year. I know it's like that in Arizona because I used to live there. I wish we would stop doing it. You did it last night? Oh, yeah, I think we did it a couple weeks ago. I thought we already did it. Was it a month ago? Okay, Zach says a month ago. I trust everything Zach says. It's only burned me a few times. November? Oh, Sir Goodenough thinks it's in November. Maybe it is. I can't remember. Daylight savings in the U.S. When is it? Why do we do it? No daylight savings in Arizona. Yeah. Let's see. Daylight savings. November 1st. We haven't done it yet. Oh, that's this week. November 1st?
I'm pretty sure we've already done it because I got an extra hour of sleep.
No, you just overslept. Yeah, no, it looks like it hasn't happened yet, but it's going to be happening soon. In the US, the weekend after Halloween. Gotcha. November 1st. There you go, guys. So you guys are ahead of us. You did your time change early. Tech Turtles here. Last night in the Netherlands, yeah. Fall, we lose an hour. Squirrel topic number 1. Squirrel topic number 1 is the time change. We didn't get very far, did we? Okay. All right. More subscribers. We'll do one more of these, and then we'll move into a topic. So I don't have, like, so some days I'll come in with like a, boom, this is the topic, you know. Today's not that day. Hopefully that's not a bad thing. There's always plenty of stuff we could talk about. One thing that I guess I can lead off with, again, is the how not to blow up your DigiUno. Should we talk about that for a second? How not to blow up your DigiUno. Let me show you something quickly, okay? I'll show you this quickly, and then I'll make it like a public service announcement. Okay, let's put on the desk camera here. Okay, here's the desk camera, and it's got a bunch of crap in the way, so let's move the crap out of the way. Let's actually make it look nice. That's the other thing. This is I think what I'm going to do is change my action camera that I was showing you the snow with. I'm going to change that to my desktop camera because I think that will look better. And it's kind of got a bit of a wider view, and its focus is better and stuff like that. Hey, Whiskers is here. How's it going, man? Boy, do I need some network advice from you, my friend. I've got, oh, right, Sparhawk, thank you very much. I'm just doing this random. Actually, I'm going to put Zach in charge of that. Zach's just sitting here hanging out with me. So when somebody does something up there, you do something down here.
Okay.
Okay? All right. Zach is on it. Okay. Little secret, you can place DigiQuad orders on the doc site. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. So I'll tell you about that right now. So I'm out. I've got no quads. I've got no Unos, which is unbelievable that 900 of them I had 3 weeks ago, and they're all gone. I should get more very soon. So they're done assembling them. Then they have to flash them, and then they have to ship them. But they usually ship them DHL, so shipping doesn't take more than a couple days. They're flashing. Quindor said I can have 450 Dig quads. Now I'm back sold over 100 Dig quads. So some of you have ordered a Dig quad like almost a month ago probably now, and are still not going to get it for a couple more weeks. But you can go in and put in an order, and I will start sending them out. We will start sending them out as soon as we get them. I wanted to do it that way with the back orders because I wanted people to save their spot in line, right? The way I was doing it before, where I was just kind of releasing a couple every day, seemed like a good idea at the time, but what it did was it cut out a lot of people who just didn't happen to get on that at that time, didn't happen to get the notice or whatever, or they would be sold out in a few hours, and if you got the notice and you checked the next day, now you're back of the line again. So I don't really want to take everybody's money and hold on to it for days, but I think that's the way to have people hold a spot in line and make sure that you get one. So I will have, I don't know how many DigiUnos exactly yet, but several hundred, and then 450 Dig quads. And then hopefully every month we'll get a shipment in that ballpark, that kind of size. That's the plan. That's the hope. Oops, that's the wrong one. What do I think about Chip? Who's Chip? I don't know Chip.
Does that stand for something? Because it's all caps.
Yeah, what does that stand for? Are they open source so I can make my own? The DigiUnos? Absolutely, you can make your own. Yes, you can make your own. And all of the information. Oh, CHOIP. I don't even know what CHOIP is. Somebody has to spell that out for me. You can make your own. You just go to Quindor's website. Connect over home IP. Connected home over IP. Paul Hibbert video. New communication standard. Hibbert's video this week. Oh, no, I haven't seen it. Connected home over internet protocol. Oh, is that the thing? Is that the Google Zigbee's replacement? Okay. Is that it? Is that the one? Oh, I had not heard of it. Oh, that's fantastic. So that's the conglomeration of smart people. Yeah. The new Zigbee. Okay, cool. Wow, that's fantastic. That's good. I hope it's good. You know, you always, it seems good. Like, it seems like there certainly could be good things going on. And certainly it's good that we will have one standard. And so things will be interacting much, much easier with each other. But I'm always concerned that, you know, like Paul says, corporate greed, right? Everything you own is already outdated. Yeah, I'm sure. Well, if it keeps working, I'm just going to keep using it. So I'm going to keep using my stuff. All right, let's see. We gotta monkey with this video here a little bit. Focus it. Take this off and turn it up. And then we got to go to this and do the white balance because I like that look better. Okay. And I don't know why it doesn't save that way. I know somebody said there's probably a way to do it, but anyways. Okay, here it is. Here's your public service announcement for the day. This is a DigiUno. Perhaps you own one. If you do, I have to tell you right now how to not make it blow up. Okay? There is a jumper here. You have the option of setting this jumper to 12 volts or to 5 volts. If you put 12 volts as the voltage input here, then your jumper must be set to 12 volts. If you put 12 volts here and your jumper is on 5 volts, you will be replacing your D1 Mini because it will not survive that, okay? If you are using 12 volts, that means 12 volts is going in here. You have a 12 volt power supply. That's what you're putting in here. Set the jumper to 12 volts. Okay. Otherwise, buy yourself a pack of D1 Minis. Okay? I know it does kind of sound like logic, but it's confused a lot of people. I've had a lot of people. I bet you between me and Quindor, we've probably had a dozen at least that have said, hey, the board's not working. Something's wrong. You know, my D1 Mini, da-da-da. And they just got mixed up. They didn't look. It's the boards are not always coming with the jumper on 12 volts. Most of them are, but some of them I've found when they come out, the jumper is on 5 volts from the factory. Okay, just make sure. Like that's everybody's responsibility, right? Is to make sure that they don't destroy it. So 12 volts going in, jumper on 12 volts. Got it? Got it. How do you wire it? Jose says. How do you wire this? There's a plus and a minus. There's ground and positive here. That goes in here. To connect the lights, you have to remove the D1 Mini. There's ground, and then L1D is where the data goes, that goes to the lights. And then on the far side is 5 volts or 12 volts that goes to the lights. All right. And the D1 Mini always goes with the antenna pointing out, which makes the USB facing in. And that's not by accident. That's so you don't connect it to power and to USB at the same time, which will also destroy it. There is a lot of information about how to use these on Quindor's website, and he's done several videos about them. So the information is there. Please look into it. If you have questions, I would love to say contact me directly, contact Quindor directly, but that's just not practical, you know? That's part of the reason that we make a video and do that is so that the information is available to a whole bunch of people that they can get it, so we don't have to answer everybody individually, right? You just think about it. We're you know, it's really, really not practical for any one person to answer all these questions, you know, when they're the same question over and over again, right? All right, how far is the Wi-Fi signal? It's a good Wi-Fi signal, Jeff. It's a typical Wi-Fi smart device. You know, I don't know what I can tell you about how far it is. It's going to depend a whole lot on your router as well. So it will go typically far enough, but I wish I could tell you more specifically how far it'll go. All right. There. I'll turn that off now. And I'm waiting for Blade and others to throw in a bunch of salty emotes because I felt like that was a bit salty on my part. So I apologize for the saltiness. I don't want people to destroy these. I want them to get them and be happy with them and use them. But if they don't pay attention or if they don't check first, you know, they'll be blowing things up and they'll be unhappy, and that's not good. So that's what we're trying to do. All right. Oh, Mike to know. How you doing? Milobi says, will it work when the jumper is on 12 volts and using a 5-volt power supply? Yeah, it will. So if you happen to leave this on 12 volts and you connect 5 volts, that's okay. You may have some problems because if you're only putting 5 volts in here, this voltage regulator is going to drop that. And you have this. Basically what this 12 volt pin does, I'm still pointing at it. You can't see it. Sorry. Basically what this 12 volt jumper does is it engages this voltage regulator over here, which changes the voltage from 5 volts to 12 volts. Sorry, backwards. 12 volts to 5 volts. Okay. So you put 12 volts in here and it changes it to 5 volts. If you put 5 volts in here, it will change it to like, I don't know what, 4 volts, 4.2 volts, 3.8 volts. I don't know. It will drop it some, right? Because there's some inefficiency in this. So it will drop it some. You can't put 5 volts in here and get 5 volts out, right? So if you have this set to 12 and then you put 5 volts in here, that 5 volts is going to go to this voltage regulator. It's going to drop it some. It will probably be enough to run your D1 Mini, but it may not be great for your LEDs. They may just look dim or something like that. So just know what voltage you're putting in, whether it's 5 or 12, and set your jumper appropriately. Okay? 12 for 12, 5 for 5. Don't mix and match. It won't destroy it if you have it on 12 and you connect 5. But the opposite, if you connect it, if you have the jumper on 5 and you connect 12, it will destroy this and possibly other components on the board. Okay? ¿Está bueno? Enough of that? Enough saltiness? The regulator is only for the D1 Mini. That is right, Mr. Fat. The regulator is only for the D1 Mini. The regulator does not affect the voltage that goes to the lights. Okay? It's a rainy day and I'm working on a real CO2 sensor for WLED. Oh, nice. CO2 sensor. What are you going to do with that, Mike Donnell? That sounds awesome. Did I order igloos for my property? I'm trying, Raspy. I'm trying. So I think I said on the stream last time that the people that make that dome house, which I'll show you right now, by the way, just since we're looking at him, because it's awesome and maybe not everybody saw that. So this is what we're going to put on our property. Okay. We're going to dig a basement underneath it and we're going to put this on top. We're going to design it differently. So it's not going to be this sort of modern look. It's going to be that. And it's going to be for rent, by the way, when we're not using it. So for anybody that's in the U.S. that wants to take a little weekend or longer vacation out to Idaho and stay in a hobbit hole, give us a year and we'll have it ready. So they told me initially, the guys that sell this, they told me that I could take a course and learn how to build them, basically, and be a contractor to go and help people install them. And then they changed their tune because I didn't have contractor liability insurance and license number. And so, but so that delayed us like, well, I don't know how long it's delayed us, at least a week. But I now have found a contractor and so we will still be getting it and building it. But like all good things, it's taking longer than you think it would take. So the rabbit house video, man, you can be very lucky with all that land. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. If the regulator is only for the D1 Mini and I'm running 5-volt strings, I'm going to pull it off mine and use it elsewhere. Yeah, that's great. That's great. The regulator is only for if you're running 5-volt strings, the only reasons are good enough to still use it, or the best reasons to still use it, you still get the fuse and you still get the logic shifting. So if you're not worried about the fuse, which I think you've got enough, you got enough electro smarts about you, I'm sure that you would know what your load is and not overload it. And then if you have another way to do logic shifting, or if you just put your controller next to your lights, you don't necessarily need it. You can buy it for a few cents. Don't remove it. Buy what? Mr. Fat says. Is that an old storage house for potatoes? Nope. Did I see Andres' video today? I did not. Did he put out a video today? Remove the regulator off the board. Oh, I wouldn't do that. Just if you don't want the regulator in the circuit, just take it out of the circuit. I don't know what the price is exactly of it, but I know when you buy them individually, they're not super cheap. Can you use a D1 Mini running the Peace Penguin Alpha code on the quad? Is it just for ESP32s? Did we make a version for the 32s? I can't remember. My guess is we did not make a version for the ESP8266. I think we only made a version for... Yeah, it's so you could ask Quindor maybe, or somebody else can compile it. I haven't dug into that to compile it appropriately yet myself. So right now it is only for ESP32s. I would wonder if an ESP8266 is going to be able to handle 4 channels very well. I'm not sure it is. I would love to see your CO2 sensor, Mike Tunnel. That's not good. I wish I could follow everything you guys are saying. How I should set up then? Oh, Massive and asking Miguel. Miguel, thank you so much for answering, for being there and helping. Tree is 70, stars 20. Good. You guys are talking about lights. Awesome. What were we talking about before the last squirrel? Anybody remember? That's why he did 32s. I don't think the ESP8266 will work. Yeah, I agree with Tech Turtle. I think your ESP8266 would struggle mightily to manage a data coming in over, well, certainly if you tried to do X-Lights with it and you managed data over Wi-Fi that's coming in and putting out 4 different channels of signals to lights, I think you'd be in trouble. So what does a Culp board have over a Dig whatever? Welbo says. A lot more channels to start with. So it's a different processor. So there's a lot more channels. Like a Culp 16 has 16 channels, and inside of those you can split them like we did with segments on the Dig Quad. You can split even inside of those segments. I think it's better to say what does if you want a big display where you've got singing and dancing lights and matrices and trees and all that stuff, then you're going to want Culp type boards, right? Culp, Falcon, those things, because you're going to have a lot of different outputs, and you can do some portion of that with the DigiUnos and Dig Quads. But if you really want the big, awesome, crazy displays, that's what you're going to end up getting. I think that the reason to use a Dig Quad or DigiUno is to get started. And it might be, for a lot of people, the only thing that they ever do. You put a Dig Quad or DigiUno on your house, you do your roof lights, maybe a couple of little props with 1 or 2, so maybe you've got 3 or 4 of those going at the same time, and you've got a pretty cool looking little display. That might be it, right? What the DigiUnos and Dig Quads have that the Culp does not is WLED and the phone app and those simple effects. That's going to change at some point, because the guys that do the Falcon Pi software or Falcon Player, whatever we can call it, are going to incorporate. They're working with Air Cookie. Who does it? We had Scott, right? Is he here today? And Air Cookie have been working together, and so there's going to come a day when the Culp boards will also just be able to do the effects and the presets, and it can be pretty simple. You won't have to use X-Lights. I'm sure there's ways you can do it now, but it's kind of deep for a lot of beginners to try and figure out. So I would say that functionality is still out of reach for most beginners, but it's going to come. But in the meantime, I think a lot of people will want to do is not necessarily have a big, huge display where you need thousands and thousands of pixels, and the speed too. The Dig Quads with the ESP32 does really well with X-Lights and receiving the signals. It might stutter once in a while. The 8266 does tend to stutter if you're trying to tell it to do too much too fast, but the Culp boards don't. So they process that kind of information from X-Lights a lot faster. I don't know if that answered the question, if that just made it more confusing, but I say there's a progression. And I think if you're getting started, get a DigiUno, Dig Quad, do your roof line, have a nice Christmas, maybe even a few of them, right? And then as you decide you want to add stuff, you start adding stuff. You may get to the point where you go, okay, now I want to run everything on the Culp board, and I'm almost there. I think if I didn't have like 4 jobs And if I wasn't constantly, running around with a squirrel sticking out of my ear, I would probably have already moved to Culp boards. I have them. I own them. I've actually even written out a plan of how I would arrange everything. I got a lot of help from a lot of you guys. But the time just hasn't been there yet this year. And at this point, I don't see it happening. But it will happen at some point. So, well, that's something we could do today too. I don't know, however, this is one of those freestyle streams where I'm happy to do whatever kind of comes up, whatever seems to be the most interesting to the people that are watching. And if hooking up a Culp board is something that you want to do, I've got it one, and we did it a little bit once, but I've been meaning to hook it up and leave it up. So we could look at doing that. What about the D1 Mini? Can it handle the load similar to the Culp boards? So no. A D1 Mini, you're going to get one. If I'm going to just say one. There's a little caveat there. I'm not even going to say much more about it other than that. But yes, a D1 Mini, you're going to get one output, and you can handle. I've done the D1 Mini, in the 800 lights range, and it's fine when you're doing WLED. If you're doing X lights, think about what's happening. So when you're doing X lights, and you're trying to make a D1 Mini as part of your show, you've got a little bitty processor. That's good, but it's not superpower. It's receiving that Wi-Fi signal, which has some delay in it, and your network has a lot to do with how well that signal gets to the D1 Mini. Then it has to process that information and then send it out to the lights, and it's doing it amazingly fast. Now, the Culp board has a much better processor, much more powerful in its ability to make those calculations and receive information from X lights, or you can store it on the board as well, and it can just grab it and ship it out to the lights. So it's going to handle those things a lot better. So the 8266 is very much the beginner level, and it's good, and it can do X lights. But if you're serious about it, you're going to want to upgrade. Frank's here. Woo! How's it going? So good to see you, Frank. Thanks for being here, my friend. Haven't talked in forever. I did have, somewhat of a plan for doing a little bit of the overview of Home Assistant 117. Let's talk about maybe we can do this. Let's talk about printing. Oh, are you? What are you printing? Frank got a 3D printer, by the way, everyone. What processor am I talking about, Adam? On the Culp board? I don't know. Zach, in there. Yes. Grab my Culp board box. It's that box right there, straight ahead of your eyes. It says PC parts. I think it's underneath that. I think that's it.
There's a little list.
Yeah, this is the list and stuff. So 8260 X for mini shows. You could try it. You could do it for your roof line, but I think you would probably want an upgrade at some point. So what processor am I talking about? Well, yeah, I want this. So this is my Culp 16, and it's got this Beagle thing, this Beagle board thing on it, right? Beagle blackboard something. So I think the majority of it is happening here. And this thing, for those of you that don't know, a lot of you guys probably know better than I do. Well, I'm sure most of you know better than I do. This is think of it like a Raspberry Pi-ish kind of a board, okay? And that's what this Culp is based on. It's got some other integrated circuits that probably do some of the, some other parts of the processing, but the majority of the real heavy lifting is done here, right? It's a Beagle bone, something. But this is what a Culp 16 looks like. So it looks like a lot like a quad if you think about it, right? Beagle bone is a Raspberry Pi plus like 6 pluses. Home Assistant running really unstable on your Pi. Uh-oh, Nemo. Pocket Beagle, yeah. So each of these terminals here. All right, somebody subscribe, Zach. Do something magic. Make some magic. Beagle bone or Beagle bone green. Yeah, black or green. And I got the black one. And I can't remember what the difference was. What was the difference? Was it like Wi-Fi difference or what was on the SD card? I can't remember what was the difference. Yeah, that's good. I like that. All right. Okay, question. Twin LED quad and 4 times LED FX. Have I tried it? I have not tried that. LED FX was that software that was making them kind of dance to music. Is that right? Anyways, these are, looks like I had one that I connected to some lights. But each of these is a channel, right? And there should be 16 of these, okay? So I'm not an expert on this, so I probably shouldn't even tell you too much about it because I haven't learned it all yet myself. But I know that it's got all these channels, it's got all these fuses, it's got room for different inputs from big power supplies. It's got the ability to send data to breakout boards like extender boards, which I have a couple of those as well. These are the extender boards. So you can run a network cable from here to here or from there to there, right? And so this does all the processing, and these are just sort of receiving more and making it an extension of that. So you can have more connections here, plus it can be farther away maybe if you want. What else can it do? Well, here's an audio out jack, so I guess you could hook it up to speakers. And it can have Ethernet input, or it can do Wi-Fi as well. So, I mean, it's an upgrade, right? Like think about it like this. So let's do this. That is one sexy desk. Thank you. Think of it like this, like the first beginner method for getting your lights up like that. What's that? Yeah, somebody was following. Thank you very much for following. The very, very first beginner step is to get yourself just a Node MCU or something and connect some lights. That's like driving a Corolla. Okay, getting a DigiUno would definitely be like Camry. You know, you're definitely quite a step up. Maybe even Lexus. And then driving the Culp 16 is like I don't know if you want to say Ferrari or an RV, like something like that. Is it power over Ethernet? I don't remember, guys. Is it power over Ethernet? I don't remember. Add an SSD to your Raspberry Pi, HD3 USB 3 adapter. I would second that. All right. What price are we looking at for this? The Culp board prices? I don't remember what the Culp board prices are. 100 and something bucks, I believe. Culplights.com. And here's this. Oh, there's a 32. So the one I have is a 16. So 100 bucks for the 16. But I think that's without the Beagle board. I think the Beagle board adds. That one covered the whole screen. I did add an LED display. I did. Yeah. See, so when you add the Beagle board, which you need unless you want to buy it separately, you know, that adds a bit to it. So I bought the black one. Like that. I think that was my configuration right there. PoE isn't really useful for LED anything. Yeah. I've heard Quindor say that before. And the reason is those wires are so tiny in the the network cabling that you use for PoE. It's fine if you're just powering something that doesn't take much current, like a camera, but LEDs take a lot of current. I think people don't realize, especially, you're dealing with low voltage. So LEDs take a lot of current. And that can add up fast, and it can quickly become more than what those little tiny wires in the network cable can handle. Hey, Blades here. Fantastic. Chris Peterson says, why not the Falcon 16 V3? I don't know. Is there a V3? I didn't even see it. Is it here on this page somewhere? I don't see it. Where's the V3? Maybe I'm missing it. What I did was just to test out these different receivers. I bought one of Culp's receivers, and then I bought one Falcon receiver. Oh, I guess, I'm sorry, the Culp versus the Falcon. Okay, I got you. You guys can say, yeah, the Culp versus the Falcon. I don't know what the differences are. To me, having not used them that much, what is it? Christmas? Is it DIY Christmas? What is it? What's their website? I don't know. I can't remember what the Falcon website Christmas is. FalconChristmas.com. No, I should have. Node Red says, what? Oh no, that's the forums, so that's not it. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. I thought Culp was cheaper initially. I don't know if they're the same now or not. Want to play around with my Home Assistant add-on with your whip? What's a whip Home Assistant add-on, RV? Falcon is FPGA. You think that's the name of the website? Oh man, we're squirreling bad today. I don't blame anybody for just signing off. X-Links, Intel. No, I don't know what that was about. That's what happens when I misinterpret the chat. Anyways, work in progress. Oh, gotcha. Node Red says, check out Home Assistant 117. Let's check out Home Assistant 117. Let's do it. Home Assistant 117. What is up? There's some really cool things here. Now, I have not updated yet, as you see. I am on the beta channel, but I haven't updated yet. Let's go ahead and read the release notes together, which I've already done several times. And then we can possibly update it and play with it. You want to do that? Yes. Can you make Home Assistant faster by using MariaDB instead of default SQLite DB? What DB are you using for the backend of Home Assistant? I am using MariaDB, and I do believe it's faster. And I also remember thinking about having less problems with your SD card. If you're running it on a Pi with an SD card, you may have less troubles. Pixel Controller Store. There you go. Yes, there are several advantages. So there you go. Da-na-na. And this one, okay, well that's probably another change. This one has the processor, and that's what you guys meant by FPGA is the processor. So this one has, instead of needing the Beagle board plugged in, this one has the processor on the board. Maybe it's a better processor for you guys that know. I don't know. It looks like there's the little Wi-Fi chip, D1 Mini Pro. So you need an antenna if you're gonna want to hook that thing up. But a lot of it is very similar. They're related. Like I don't know. You know, there's a lot of people involved in these big Christmas light displays. I don't know them all. I don't know hardly any of them. They have their own. They all know each other, but whatever. So I don't know. There's some relation, some link between Pixels and Falcon, and I don't know, or between Culp and Falcon, and I don't know what they are. MariaDB isn't faster anymore since a couple of improvements made in the last releases. Oh. Thanks for your videos on setting up Home Assistant Cloud with Nabukasa. I was able to get it up and running with ThruDuckDNS with your help. Fantastic. I love hearing that. No thanks. I really do, because I do get a lot of people going, I followed your video exactly. I don't even read the rest of the email at that point. When somebody says, I did exactly what you said in the video. I mean, basically, what are you saying? Like, I mean, maybe the video is outdated, but if somebody says that, then what, did I fake the video? Like, I don't understand. Like, I do the video and I show you this is how it works. And if it didn't work for you, then you did something wrong. So I really appreciate when somebody says, I did it just like you said, and it worked. Yay. Okay, back to Home Assistant. We're going to read the release notes. So there's some fun stuff in here. Now, these are the beta release notes, so the release notes aren't even totally finished yet. But there are some definite things that we can look at. This is the first one that comes up is this thing about native types for templates. And I don't totally understand what this means because I'm not a programmer. But basically, well, we can read it. List of entities or set an RGB color in a template. If so, you probably have learned it's not that simple. Home Assistant, the results of a template always have been a piece of text, even if you made a list. This release adds support for native Python types in templates. So I don't know what in my non-programmer mind, I don't know what native Python types means, but okay. This means that templates now actually can create lists or return a number. So basically, this has changed, right? Whatever you used to put in here that was more complicated of a line of code is now pretty simple because of this change. So extremely powerful change to our template engine that allow for more advanced future and can significantly reduce the complexity of existing templates in your setup. Yeah. Now, and Zach's like, yeah. This is the reason that I haven't updated yet to 117 because I'm not sure what templates I have that might break because of this. So maybe that's a good reason to do it during the stream because you guys are all here. You can help me fix it. It means numbers, words, and lists are treated differently. Fantastic. which is really nice, right? Because previously you had to put a whole line of different things so it would dig down and grab the right bit of information. This makes that easier, I guess. Makes it more simple to do. Oh, Mrs. Z's is here.
Yes.
Hello.
Did you know you're on the thumbnail of the property? Look, I want to show you. It's okay. It's really far away. You won't know. See? That you over there? That's Mrs. Z's.
I'm famous.
You're famous. Okay. I don't have. Oh, sorry, I didn't have it. Uh-oh. Well, oh yes, I want you to join Frank. Yes, let's have Frank join. Frank can explain this to us. This is awesome. Okay. Do you want to do it through Discord? Let's do it through Discord. Ooh. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, man. Frank's got an index card box for... Okay, let's call Frank. You want video or just voice, Frank? I swear this is like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Oh, that's funny. Amazon just gave me a reorder notification. Hopefully I didn't just reorder something on accident. The Zookeeper. Hi, boss. I'd like to use a lifeline. Call Frank. He's probably getting his microphone ready. Forgot what Frank sounds like. I'm going to show Frank's little invention here. This is his filament index. So he's got his different filaments here, and then he's written on there like what they are, what temperature they work at and stuff. And he's got a whole little index card box of filaments. Very organized. I should do that. I should be that organized. But then I wouldn't be me. Gonna show us he's alive and not changed into a robot. That's right. All right. Well, while Frank is returning, we really need a Frank stream. That man has way too much time on his hands. Call. Okay. Calling. Let's see if this works. I hear you. Oh, video call. Frank is... Okay, I got to put the video on. Come on. Can I? Your hair looks good. All right. Well, whatever. Everybody wants to see you, Frank. So there's Frank. Hey. Can you guys hear Frank? I doubt you can. Oh, you can hear Frank. You're in your Home Assistant jammies? That's your work uniform. What are you talking about? Okay, let's see. We're going to grab that. All right, now you should be able to hear Frank. Hide the tip jar. Yeah, tip jar. Yeah.
That's the 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Ooh.
Still no.
What's up, homies?
Yes, we can hear you. Okay, good. They can hear you now. Yeah.
Just choo-choo, homies.
Choo-choo. We haven't choo-chooed with Frank in too long, my friend. Too long. How's things? Tell us about your life for a minute. What's going on?
Well, I'm here, and nothing special, actually. Like, everybody has the same things going on, right? Like, busy and corona and like, weird things in their lives, I guess.
Well, we're glad you're here. Glad you're doing well. Thanks for doing everything you always do for Home Assistant. It's been awesome.
Oh, okay. Well, here, you're welcome.
So tell us about this now. Explain to the noob here, Dr. DrZzs.
What's going on, right?
Yeah. So tell me about this thing.
So what's going on is that templates, like the result of a template would always be a piece of text. Like if you would like put in a list in the current Home Assistant version you have, like pre 1.17, the result of the template, no matter what you put in it, like even if it's a list, a number, whatever, it will always return a piece of text at this point. So that is kind of okay-ish, but the problem with that is, what if you do not need a text, but you need like a real number later on? Or you want to generate like a list of entities, which you want to pass through a service call later on. Right now, you cannot do that because it will never return a list. It will always return a piece of text, a string. So that's the problem we have with the current situation. Like, always when you use a template, it is a piece of text that's coming out of it. Always. And what's changing is that it now can return a list of pieces of text, or a list of numbers, or a list of entities, or a true number, which you can later use again in another template, maybe even. Like, we all know that when you go into a template, you always use those little cast thingies, right? The pipe thing, and then float, and then you can calculate with it. Like, everybody is used to that. So what happens now, if you calculate some value and you will later on want to add something to it in a service call, you can just say plus sign and it will work because, well, it's already a number at that point. It will already be an integer or a float which you can calculate it with. So, and the same works for like lists as well. So how this works is it will do the template stuff, then look at what it generated and say, oh, wait a minute, but this is not a piece of text. This is a list. Let's keep it as a list. And that's what it's doing now. So this is awesome because it allows for the future to do stuff like, I don't know, if you want to set the effect number on the WLED servers right now, that will not work because the template always returns a string as a piece of text and not a number. So you cannot set the effect number right now in the WLED servers. That's impossible with a template. With the new version, that will work. So what the risk is here is that, like, it might return some other things. Like we know right now in the beta we're running, and tomorrow morning we'll have to work on this actually, is that MQTT publish will break. At this point, MQTT publish will send out a string, which is nice. But if you want to send out JSON, then it will actually think, hey, this is not JSON, this is probably like a list or a dictionary. And so there are still some bugs in here, which, well, it's a beta for a reason. So if you use MQTT publish a lot, I don't know if you do, but to answer your questions, should I upgrade? I haven't done it yet because I think it's scary. Well, if you use MQTT publish, you might want to hold off on the upgrade.
You've answered that question for me right there. Because I do use MQTT publish too much. Okay. So I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I waited. I saw that and I was like, this is the danger zone for me. So, okay.
Yeah. So that's why it triggered and was like that needs a bit of explanation. So it's a really cool feature. I hope it will like stick. We're not 100% sure yet because like not everything is ironed out yet. Like we could maybe withdraw this feature for this release. Maybe I don't know yet. I hope it will stick because it will allow for a lot of nice things. I do have an example script. Maybe it's too complicated, but I will quickly try to find it to show you what powerful stuff you could do with it.
Sir Goodenough, I saw your page, and I believe you were talking about the echo, and I was just wanting to let Frank finish before I tried to play with that. So the paging did work, though. Your light, it turned orange.
You have like a paging light?
Really? Yeah. I have a strip of LEDs here, and I've got several people. In fact, you're on the list. You're on the list. I'm pretty sure you can page me.
Don't tell me. That's dangerous. Don't tell me.
Let me find it here. This was pre-corona. We set this up a long time ago, and we never finished it because I think it was right about March when we were working on it, and then of course things kind of got turned on their heads.
Yep.
Let's see, so somewhere in here I've got it. A list of who gets the page.
I don't have a good example though. I'm sorry.
paging system. Yeah. So there you go. So you're in here, Frank. I don't remember how we finished this. I don't remember where we stopped. But I had set up a list of people who could page, and each time one of them sends like exclamation point page or something like that, it will light up these lights in a different color based on who it was that sent the page. So Sir Goodenough is orange, Blade is red. I don't remember anybody else's colors. Oh, there's Blade. It just turned red. So, anyways, that's a fun thing we can talk about some. Okay. I could upgrade the. Oh man, I could upgrade my test version.
Well, you could upgrade your production version because there is like an emergency switch available to restore the old behavior. So if you scroll down to the breaking changes, then you will see like a breaking change listed for the native template types, template stuff in the top.
Yep.
And it has like a little option to set legacy templates to true. If you add that option to your config, it will behave just like before. So you won't have native templates at that point. So you can still upgrade without like the possible issues.
That's good information. Yeah, that's good information because if you do run into a lot of problems, that's an easy fix, and you don't have to undo all the other cool stuff that comes along with 117.
Yeah, well, you will not have native templates if you do this, right?
Right.
And this is like a transition configuration, like a temporary thing. But at least like you can move forward, and if there's something blocking, you can at least say, okay, well, maybe not tonight, but right. Yeah. And for us, like for Home Assistant as well, this is a big change. And the impact is fairly minimal in general, except for the bug at this point, of course. But yeah, it is still a change that might, like, it's a bit scary though. We're touching templates. Let's be honest, we're touching templates in automations. We should like be careful. So there's like a kill emergency switch available.
I love that. That's really smart. I appreciate that because I don't even know where all this might break, with templates or the MQTT part 2, the MQTT publish. I've used that a lot. And templates have always been, again, for a non-programming guy like me, templates are, I'm really excited if I get one to work, right? Like that's like, woo, I figured out how to get one to work, or somebody helped me and I got this thing to work. And I don't even always understand how they have worked. So troubleshooting them and fixing them if they're not working now would take some time. So it's good that you would have that switch to be able to say, okay, it's not working right now. I don't have time to fix it. I can go put this line in. I can wait until I've got time to sit down and take care of it, sort it all out.
So switch is mainly there because we're not entirely sure what would break, especially during beta as well. So we know now the MQTT publish breaks, but that's about it. Like we had up until now, the beta is now running since Wednesday, so there are not many like reports other than this one. So like it's fairly okay. We're fairly happy, and I'm fairly sure that it would not impact too many people, but it is possible. So now I'm talking to you anyway. There's some other cool features in here.
Yeah. Tell us what you are most excited about.
What I really like the quick search and the navigation. Like, that's like, yes, there's a link to the UI part, which you can click to the. If you go to the chapter.
Is that this GitHub compact header?
No, the compact header we already have, right?
Yeah.
Like quick search.
This is quick search nav open. Nice new feature. But how do you said that there was.
I haven't linked it yet. Hold on. I will go and try and find it really quick for you here. Or else I will record it. I can share my screen, right? Can I?
Yeah, you totally can share your screen. Yeah.
Would that work?
Big Frank.
Let's see. How can I do this?
I think in Discord you can just down at the bottom, share your screen instead of your next to your camera.
I think I should share this. Let me try.
Okay. Oh yeah, we got it.
Yeah, you see my Home Assistant
We
screen?
see. We sure do.
Okay. So what this quick bar does is, if you're familiar with Visual Studio Code, you can. This is my production instance, by the way, so I will not click too much. But if you're familiar with Visual Studio Code, there's like a Control Command P, and then you get that search bar thingy open, which you can find every entity or command or whatever in Visual Studio Code. But this works in Home Assistant now too. So if I hit Command Shift P, which is Control Shift P in Windows, I think, I get this really fancy looking search bar thingy, and I can search what I want to do. So I can search for reload indeed of my automations, and then hit enter to apply it. But I can also look for my entities.
Wow.
And if I hit enter, it will actually show that. So this works everywhere in Home Assistant. So you can find any entity and any command like with a hotkey and then search for it without going through all the navigation and stuff. If you know the entity, you can quickly find it. Or if you want to execute like a command to reload something, that's now just a couple of touches away. I think that's really powerful.
I've been using, and you must have seen this, I've been using this, there's a Lovelace card that does a search, but I don't know that it includes everything like that. But this is what I've been using, which it sounds like the same thing. No, it doesn't include everything. It doesn't look like it includes everything. It probably just includes entities. So that's fantastic. That has been super useful for me. So now this is official and added features with being able to search for whatever your automations and services. Can you search services too?
Yes. So reload, for example. Here it is.
That's why I couldn't find it, because that one only.
Oh, sorry.
Entities.
I need to add a dash. Reload. So here are my reload services.
Oh, okay. So if you add, so what you put in here changes which things you can search through, whether it's entities, services, automations, etc.
Well, the little greater and smaller than sign. What is it? Smaller than?
Yeah.
That makes the change like between a command or an entity. So without it, it's an entity filter, and if I type that one in, it comes.
Oh, very
cool. And it's kind of smart as well. Like if I type lights right now, oh, that's wrong. And if I select all and with a light, and if I say okay, okay, it's not working right now. Why is this not working? It's always a beta, of course. Reload. Well, they broke that one. That's for sure. It should have changed automatically. Like, okay, oh, you wanted you typed an entity, but you wanted a command, and it should have taken over your previous entry already, but it didn't. Not sure why that is.
Someone asks, can you use this to quickly jump to specific integrations? No, not yet. Like it has all the reload stuff, it has some commands, and it has all the entities. But that's the start of it, right? So from this point on, we can like extend this. Like people are adding stuff to it. I've already seen some PRs that are adding new things in here. But this is like already a great start. Like getting to the entities with a couple of clicks is just pretty darn nice if it's not on your dashboard, but you remember it. Like exactly. I do that a lot actually, like secretly, which is actually really stupid because I should add it to a dashboard, which I don't. For some reason. I use that little search bar, that Lovelace card search bar, all the time. I really actually do use it quite a bit because you have so many entities. You don't want all of them always on the dashboard. Sometimes you just want, that's that one thing that I need to look at, this one time in the past month. It's just a very quick way to find it. You know where it is. You know what you want to do with it.
Yeah, I still have my everything dashboard, which points in everything, right? Which is just like, it's a pile of shite, but I still have it because, well, for reasons. What else you can see on my screen at this point is, you touched upon it really quick already, is the compact header. The compact header is now baked into Home Assistant. It's
That's fantastic.
compact by default. It's no longer like there's no longer a toggle or like a setting or there's nothing from that anymore. It's just compact. Always. It is like that, slick and small.
That's great. Because that changed, right? Didn't because I stopped using the compact custom header, maybe was it with 116 or something whoever, I can't remember who was it, Thomas or somebody else, I can't remember who does it. Micah. He said he didn't have enough time, he couldn't keep it up or something. Is that right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. So this is great because that was a nice feature.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so we got templates. We got native types in templates. We got a quick search, which is awesome.
Yep.
I saw a couple things that I was really excited about. One of them I actually I haven't turned my Xbox on in almost a year probably, but this Xbox integration looks awesome for those that have an Xbox.
Featured at WindowsCentral.com in an article, which was really nice. There's a really good video about it right there. Yeah.
Yeah, this here. Yeah, this is really cool. There's just music playing there, but so he's using the media player browser tab, and he's playing stuff on the Xbox, right? It's showing up. He's doing Minecraft, and then there's even controller. Yeah, like you can do controller stuff. Watching Netflix. So I would assume that any of this then is also automatable, right?
Yes.
Any of these, yeah. So all this Xbox control stuff is also automatable.
Yep.
Awesome. And my guess is there's probably some information you can get out of it as well. You can get like some tracking information, like when was it on, how long was it on, those kinds of things. I assume so. It's probably there. The information's probably there.
I have a Nintendo Switch, so I wouldn't know.
This was a couple of years ago. I had somebody had made a component at that point that was it wasn't this good, not even close, but it did do some of that sensor stuff, and you could publish notifications on the Xbox screen. So I actually used it to kind of moderate the boys and their Xbox time. Once they were on a certain amount of time, it would notify me and notify them that they were getting off. It worked for a while, it didn't work forever. So that's really cool. And then the other thing that I'm really excited about is the Tasmota integration. Right? I think that is pretty sweet. So we can go here and read about it. But basically, you can tell me about this a little bit because
what it basically does is that we now allow for some integrations to like leverage MQTT, but handle a lot of the basic MQTT stuff you would normally have to write down by hand, or with Discovery, which mostly is maybe not fully what you want it to be. So we can now have integrations that detect like certain devices on the MQTT server, like this Tasmota integration does now. It detects Tasmota on the MQTT server and will like really pull in the entities from MQTT. So instead of Discovery, which pushes into Home Assistant via MQTT, this will actually go into MQTT and pull the stuff out it needs. So an integration can do way more specific things than the Discovery can do. So that's actually what it is. It's still the MQTT. You can use it if you have Tasmota configured right now. It will probably just pop up and not a Discovery. I'm not an MQTT fan, which is not a secret. I'm not a Tasmota user myself either, so I cannot tell you how the user experience is. But yeah, I think this is like a great addition in general to make it easier to set up Tasmota with Home Assistant instead of enabling Discovery and all kinds of places and set some kind of option in Tasmota. I think you believe have to do option 13, 19. I don't know what 19. It is. Yeah. Okay. I was kind of in the neighborhood, but all those things are pretty hard to do, and it would be nice if you could just flash it and it just pops up and it finds it and you add it and everything works, right? So that's basically what this aims for.
it puts it too in the same, in my mind, it puts it in the same format as all these other devices that you hook up to Home Assistant, because you go to the integration page and there's a new device, configure, and you kind of are used to that now. We're anybody that's picked up Home Assistant in the last year or whatever it's been that is used to that pattern where a new device pops up, you go, notification, you go to the integrations page, you set it up, and Tasmota wasn't like that. Like you're saying, you had to go through, and you could do it with auto discovery, with MQTT discovery, and that worked pretty well. But it was different, and this is now putting it in the same process as everything else, and adding some functionality. Like here, you can change. Like before, well, I guess if you did auto discovery, I think they always showed up as switches, if I recall. You could set them up as lights versus switches if you did it manually. But in this case, you can choose which one you want it to be, a light or a switch, by putting an option in Tasmota. So I thought this was really awesome. I was really happy about this. But this is interesting. So you actually have to this is telling you to turn off auto discovery on your Tasmota device. So set option 19.0 is turning off auto discovery. It does have to be version 9 of Tasmota. I still have several devices that are running version like 5.7, I think, or something like that. Haven't really upgraded a lot of my stuff over the time. And then I think most everybody, except maybe Frank, already has their MQTT server integration set up. So that should be a no-brainer. So this is one I'm excited to try out too. Once I get the guts to upgrade. So
well, I've wrote in the chat like, why are you not why not an MQTT fan, right? So I believe that if something could work natively, that would be a better choice than like having another thing in the middle that could possibly interfere. So for me, I like ESP Home for that matter. So every device where people normally would use Tasmota, I would use ESP Home because it directly communicates with Home Assistant. But that's personal preference. Like Tasmota is absolutely a great piece of software, but it's not my choice. Like it's simply the same discussion as YAML automations versus Node-RED, or Google Chrome versus Firefox, and some people even like Internet Explorer maybe, like nowadays called Edge. But it's like the same discussion. And for me, it's not Tasmota. I like ESP Home, but still think this is a great addition, though. Don't get me wrong.
It's funny you say that because I haven't installed Tasmota on a lot of new devices lately because I got so into ESP Home. And that was one of the big reasons. It's just one less link in the chain that could go wrong. But I have tons of stuff that runs with MQTT, and I would be hard pressed to go without it for very long. So, but it's great.
Well, it's fine. It's both are like valid methods, and some people do like everything via MQTT. I think that works as well. But it is like, I don't know. Like I find ESP Home just like more direct, more quickly, more customizable. Like I can just like put over what I need to have and put in what I need to for that specific device. And I like the fact that I can centrally like upgrade them and manage them and validate the configs and version manage my configs there. Like I kind of like that, but that's me as a programmer probably that fits me more, right? And yeah. Tasmota is fine. It's absolutely a great piece of software, and MQTT is a perfectly valid method. So no hate, but not my thing.
Yeah. I have been, and when people have asked me, should I use Tasmota, should I use ESP Home? My answer is, if you're using a device like a Sonoff or a smart switch from some manufacturer that's got things configured in it, it's already connected to the specific GPIO pins from the factory and all this, and you just want to use a different firmware instead of whatever they've put on it, then Tasmota is the way to go. If you're building a device, if you're using a D1 Mini or Node MCU or something, and you're kind of building a device, you're putting your own sensors on it, you're putting your own switches, your own relays, you're connecting them to the pins you want, then use ESP Home. That's the split that I've used, and it's been pretty good for me. But yeah, great. What's the status?
That's fine.
That's right. Choices are great. Choices are fantastic. What's the status of ESP Home? I know, was it Odo Odo was working on it, and then I know it had slowed down. Are somebody else picking up more? Is it still
Some
gaining as
people
many
are,
devices?
multiple people picking up, and we have seen updates recently as well, right? I think it's really cool. Recently the tag support was added to ESP Home more, and that's being developed as well. I've seen a lot of devices being added. I think it's perfectly fine. I think
Good.
like it's expanding more than innovating. Maybe that's kind of the thing that makes it like a bit less.
Flashy.
Yeah, that's the thing, right?
Yeah, and that's okay. Like we don't have to have big major changes all the time. Like that's actually what I was asking is it still expanding? Because that's all I really need to see from ESP Home. Is the basis of it is great, just the way it is. So, but the fact that are we adding new kinds of sensors? Are we adding new kinds of of integrations with other different hardware? So that's fantastic.
Yep. I think so too.
And I haven't, Athema, I haven't watched that yet. I saw it. It keeps popping up on my feed that Andre Spies did that video about ESP Home versus Tasmota. And he I looked at that and it was confusing to me because he's like, which is better? And he shows ESP Home, Tasmota, and Home Assistant. And I was like, wait, is he comparing Home Assistant and Tasmota? I don't understand, but I haven't watched it all yet. I'm sure he's just comparing ESP Home and Tasmota. What's this? Okay. Drag and drop. When will it be? When it's ready.
When it's ready. Well, actually, this has been in progress for a long time, but it looked like we're slowly getting to a workable something for drag and drop and Lovelace, which would be amazing if that is pulled off. Zach is working on that for a long time already, which actually was triggered with the start and kickoff of the month of What the Heck, mainly. But yeah, who knows when it lands? I think it was originally hoped for this release, but it didn't make it. I don't know when it comes, when it's ready. Like that's how Home Assistant works, right? It is somewhat ready to publish, and then it will go. Like we're not publishing something if it's all shiny and polished and done. Things go into Home Assistant in the release as soon as it's like it has reached the minimal viable product, as we call it, the MVP. Like it is usable and it's nice to see and play and work with, but it definitely needs expansion. But that's when it gets shipped. And then we hope for the community or other people to jump in and help and build upon it. So that's how it usually works. You will usually see a feature being dropped in Home Assistant when it's not completely finished. There's always stuff, if a new feature is introduced, there's always stuff that people say, but why didn't you add this? Well, that's because it's the minimal viable product. Like go in and help us out, right? That's the power of open source. There's not a single person that can think of all the use cases you guys all think of. So when it's drag and drop coming, when it reached the minimal viable product stage, I would say.
I like that. Precisely when it means to. That's when it will arrive. Awesome. What was I going to say? Oh, no, just somebody was asking about, since you're talking about Lovelace, somebody was asking about a tablet interface because, I had used AppDaemon way back when, and this has been... this is the tablet that we have downstairs is laid out like this. And Lovelace now is so good that it's really, I think, pretty easy. I mean, I would welcome drag and drop. And I know a lot of people are used to that kind of format. That's how the phones work and, widgets. And we're kind of used to that. Man, it's pretty slick already, just the way it is. Setting up a tablet or any sort of display for a different device or different screen, different use is really pretty straightforward and pretty awesome. Doesn't take too much tinkering around to get it showing up the way you want it. None of my cameras are turned on right now. Anyways.
I'm trying to find real quick if I can find an example of the drag and drop.
Oh, that would be sweet. Has anyone else had issues both announce on the media player not working event, though TTS does? Stephen, I remember having... an issue between the text to speech and announce, and I just think what I ended up doing was decided that I would just use one of them. I don't remember which one I settled on. Love how Home Assistant is open. Great community. Thanks, DrZzs and Frank, a lot. Thanks, Frank, and all the developers. You guys have done all the work. It's awesome. I haven't had to mess with my Home Assistant. I'm not quite at the point where it's, totally hands-free, but I haven't, I've got a lot of things that are just working nice. It's just kind of cruising. It's been great. Even after upgrades, I'll upgrade and things will just keep cruising.
Well, that's a thing. Like we all remember YAMLgate, right? Like the thing that YAML was going away, but it isn't going away. It's just like deprecated for like setting up devices and stuff. Like in general, this means that the upgrades will become smoother, right? We can do upgrades without like breaking YAML because there's no YAML for device configuration anymore in a lot of cases, and it's becoming less and less. So that really improves that experience. Like, that's awesome, in my opinion. Like, it's great to be able to click the button and actually go without worry, right?
Right. This was the first beta update that I hesitated in a long time. I'm glad I did, but this was the first one in many months that I haven't just gone click. Let's see what happens. I'll read the release notes, just for that reason. But usually it's like, okay, I think I can handle all this. Boop, upgrade, and it's a lot of fun.
I actually nowadays run them nightly, which means I update every morning. As soon as I wake up, I update to the build that is made from the development version that night. So we have like a release every night based on development. That's actually the version I run in my production system nowadays, which has actually been pretty good to me. I would not advise anybody to run that though, unless you're a developer and are heavily interested in what we're doing. But yeah, I think it helps for me at least to catch things early. But surprisingly, it's pretty much like the beta has become boring, actually, to be honest. And I think that's a good thing. Sure, we will find a thing or two, and yes, the betas are really important still. But it isn't like as hectic as it used to be, which is a good thing, which is nice.
All right, let's see. Where is... I'm trying to find some of my automations that use the announce and text to speech. Oh, you know what? You know where they are? They're in the service calls are in Node Red now. Been running the beta since the beginning of this year as production. Yeah, I mean that's mine. I have a development instance, but I don't actually have to use it very often.
I'm going to send you like a Giphy. What is it? What do you call it? A GIF? A GIF? A GIF? A GIF?
A Giphy GIF?
A Giphy GIF? Like this isn't pretty much a little bit older recording, but it will at least show you like the drag and drop kind of idea that is worked on. So this is like like something in process, like not finished kind of idea.
Okay, cool. Let's see it. Well, Home Assistant someday a professional mean a more industrial home product. Will Home Assistant someday be a professional, more industrial home product?
No.
Good. I kind of think that's good.
Yeah. No.
For me.
I know, it's just an open source project. It will always be an open source project, right? That's just like, that's a bit of the sauce that belongs to it. Will it become more stable in the future? Yes. Every release becomes more like perfect. Like look at all the performance and stability things we did the past year. Like the performance has been skyrocketing. The if you F up your YAML, it will just like boot into recovery mode, right? Like those things are coming, but will it be a professional product? No. If you're looking for Samsung Smart Things, then you should buy a Samsung Smart Things.
I would not feel nearly as cool if Home Assistant wasn't this kind of a product. If it wasn't open source, beta releases, I wouldn't feel nearly as cool. My kids wouldn't ask me if I'm a hacker anymore if I Put on my hat.
It's family status.
That's right. It's a status symbol using Home Assistant. Oh man. Back to the question quickly about the text-to-speech thing. I don't use text-to-speech. I always use announce. And maybe so that's why I don't know if text-to-speech isn't working. Why? But I would say seek and find. Oh, you want me to get my hat? I'll get my hat. Seek and find oh man, Keaton or Alan are the guys that do the Amazon Echo media player thing. I got to get my hat.
Waiting for Dr. C's. Hi, how are you guys doing? And his hat. His hat is the chat. That's not good.
Somebody moved my hat.
Where's your hat?
I don't know. Somebody took it.
Oh my god.
It's not in its little keeping place. Aw. I'm gonna look again.
But I sent you a Jiffy, but it's probably in the same window as you're streaming me with, right? Does the hat say Enschede? Yes, it does. Well spotted. That's where I live, by the way. Did he really, like, jump off stream again, like, to search for his hat? I don't see him. Like, I'm looking at him delayed. So... You're back?
I'm back. But I can't find my hat. Doggone it. I'm sure like Mrs. Z's washed it or something. It's gone. Oh man. Who moved the hat? Who took my hat?
Yes, it is Nemo Janssen. It's really nice here.
So somebody, let's see, there was a good question here about.
Have you seen the GIF? The GIF in
Did you
the
send
chat?
it? Oh,
Yes, it's probably in the same window, right?
Yeah, so I just gotta go down here. No.
I have sporadic issues with thread-free bulbs. Yeah, that's normal for those bulbs, I guess. I don't know.
So here you go. Oh, look at that. So you're resizing them. Okay. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that'll make doing a display on a tablet a lot nicer. And you just move them around. Oh, that's so perfect. That is one of the problems that I've had with my tablet is when I do add something new, getting it in the right place and getting it to stay there is sometimes tricky. So that's great.
This is an old screenshot which I just found on GitHub with the PR, like the code edition Zach is trying to make. I'm not sure what the current state is. I'm not sure if this is even like the end product, but this gives you at least an idea of some of the ideas, because that's what it is at this point, that it might become in the future. Like, yeah. Really careful what I say. This is maybe never even land in our system, right?
Mm-hmm. It would be really great. It would be great to somehow have a way to limit what goes on the screen. Like, so you have a tablet and the size of the tablet and you want everything to fit on there, and it gives you some way to say, okay, this is what you can put inside there. You can't go outside of this, or it's gonna mess up the formatting on your tablet. Yeah. So, but yeah, I do like the way that it dynamically changes, right? I mean, that's nice when you're looking at it on a desktop. And
but real honestly, you can't just size your Google Chrome, right? Like, you could just resize your browser to window to something that matches your tablet, and then.
Oh, for the phone? Or you mean for the tablet?
Yeah.
The thing is, I try and add things when I'm not looking at the tablet. That's it.
So
I don't know.
Yeah, I get it, but you can just resize your browser to tablet size.
To make it shrink.
Yeah, and then add
Oh,
it.
I see. When you're adding it, I understand. I'm sorry. Now I understand. So you make this the size of your tablet. How would you be sure that you've done that? How would you be sure you got it the right size? Is there a way to set the pixels or something? Or
Yes, you can inspect. I think it's F11 or something on Windows, or F12. I'm not sure. But you can, like the browser inspector. Cool. And then in the bottom left, there's like a toggle device thingy. Like I'm going to send you. I'm not sure. I'm delayed, so I cannot see what you're doing. Can I record this? I can. Can I record?
Oh. Control-Shift-I. I think I got the inspector here.
Yeah, there's an icon.
And go to device simulation mode.
Yes, and then you can select a device size or something.
Oh, man.
Like an iPad Pro or something, and then it will like resize the stuff.
Oh, I didn't know that. Is the code for the amount of Home Assistant configuration lines rules available anywhere? I'll just put up my config as well. Oh, couldn't find it in GitHub. Oh, I don't remember where it went or what it is. Oh gosh. Did you look? I don't remember where it is. Whiskers gave it to me. It was just a line. Send me a message and I'll try and find it for you another time. I don't remember where I put it. Left from element. Oh.
Elements, there's
nice.
Oh,
okay.
And then you can select in the top, you can select what type of screen. Like it's responsive by default. There you can select other devices. Or you can fill in the pixels beside it that are available.
I see. What devices do you get to pick from? It looks like it's gone to a phone. Oh, and then up here, responsive. Oh, yes. Okay, sweet. Or you can set the pixels in here exactly. Oh, sweet. So like I don't have, it's not one of these, but if you had an iPad, you do it this way. And I guess you could probably, you could pick off of a list over here. Oh, man.
Add it to list as well. So if you have something that is not in a list, you could
add a custom device. Oh, that's awesome. Okay. Yeah. So we need the Fire 10. What's the resolution on the Fire 10 when it's on its side? I don't know. 1920 by 1020. So if I want to go...
Say thank you, by the way.
Thank you?
Yeah, before I forget, I have to thank you.
For what? You're welcome.
Well, you splitted your configuration.
Oh, and now you have a printer. Yeah. Yeah. Looks like you're enjoying it too, huh?
Actually, I am. Yeah.
Good. So tell us about some of the stuff you printed. I showed your little index card thing. What else? What have you been excited about?
Printing for a week now. Like last weekend was I got the printer on Friday, and then the Saturday and Sunday I spent like, okay, what does this button do? Like, okay, layers and layer height and cura and slicing. What the is this? And why can I not just hit print and it works? And well, if somebody has done 3D printing, you probably know what I'm talking about, right? So I spent all weekend learning about it, and this week I actually started like printing a bit. And actually only printed mainly things you need for the printer itself, like the usual stuff everybody prints, I guess, like a light bar and a camera holder and all kinds of little enhancements for your printer. And well, that's about it. Yeah, and the filament box, of course, because I got some filament and I was like, okay, I need to have like the correct, how does it look actually? And a roll is nice, but if you print it, how does it look? And how does it feel? And what is the right temperature? And all those kinds of questions. So I figured that out for all the filament I have first and printed that little box. So now I can start printing. So I have now printed like this little box This is the unfinished product, but it can hold my Nintendo Switch games for my for the kids.
That's awesome.
I do not have a finished one here. This is a second one for a friend. But yeah, that's about it. So I don't know, but up until now, I'm kind of enjoying it. And who knows?
It's a lot of fun to just kind of scroll through Thingiverse and just, oh, I don't even know I needed that, but now I need 5 of them.
Yep. Somebody says level the bed. I got CR6 SE, which is a new printed by Creality, and it has full auto bed leveling. So it's literally like every print, it does like 40 seconds of bed leveling, and it's always like it creates a mesh. So I cannot even adjust my bed; it will just print. It will just go and it's leveled every time. It nails it, which is really, really nice.
That's cool. Blade, I'm sorry. I didn't hear the scream because of the way I had my sound set when I started the stream today. So I'm not hearing the desktop notification stuff at all. That's why I couldn't hear the songs either. So Blade just screamed at me and I didn't hear it. You guys didn't hear it either? I wonder why. I could just scream.
Let me get the finished box, by the way.
Oh yeah, great. Well, what we didn't get to talk about today at all is the Castle haunted house. So we have our little our little castle in the backyard. You know, little castle. It's a huge castle, and we're turning it into a little haunted house, right? So I put a bunch of lights in it. I put an Amazon Echo so we can have some sound. So I want to play a bunch of sounds, and I want to use that screen. So this is the finished box. Ooh, does it have color change too? Or did you put
finished box?
Oh,
and there are the games.
That's awesome.
It's a model. It's a thingy first, so like I'm not designing my own stuff yet. But this is kind of nice, right?
Yeah, that's
like
super
instead
cool.
of all those, I really liked it. So I printed one, and then I had to print another one for family. But so the question marks are actually what's just finished. So let me get one. But those are printed separately. Too stuck to do now. But the bed has to cool down a bit. But the question marks are printed separately and then glued in place.
Got it.
So there's a little leveling on the box where it falls into, like a little inlay.
Uh-huh.
Really nice.
That's very cool. So now, are you using the Octoprint integration?
Nope.
You're using a separate. Are you using Octoprint?
No.
Oh, so are you putting everything on an SD card or something and putting it in every time?
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Which
yes.
is really stupid. I know. But don't forget, I'm just playing for a week, right? So I have no clue yet. Like yesterday, I took apart like the whole print head thing, like the nozzle. I don't know about this stuff yet, and I have to learn. And Octoprint, I've been working on Octoprint the last weeks a bit, like small improvements and looking on how I can make this more useful. And I kind of promised myself like I'm not like setting up Octoprint normally. I want to like look into make it more, I don't know, useful.
You're
like,
rethinking it, and that's what you do, right? That's how you apply all these things, and it's awesome. We need that.
No, I think that is wrong. It's always like delays me, but somehow I look at it and think, no, this is not. No, yeah, maybe, but yeah, no, maybe yes, but that's my problem with my home automation system as well. Like my home assistant is just not. It's like every time I sit down and work on it, then 10 minutes later I go like, why is this working this way? And before I know it, I'm coding again, and then
it's the curse. It's a curse. Yeah. That's awesome. Oh so, man,
I'm not using Octoprint yet.
I love my Octoprint, but mine has been running on a separate Raspberry Pi since way before I even got into Home Assistant. And I did briefly play with the Home Assistant with the Octoprint integration, but I can't now at this moment. I don't remember what the thing was that made me go back, but I went back to the Raspberry Pi that I had. But yeah, Octoprint's really nice. You'll get there. You'll enjoy it. One of the things I really liked about it is that I could do it remotely. So, but that's mostly VPN too. But I don't have to be anywhere near my printer. I can design something or downloading something from Thingiverse. I can slice it and I can send it to my printer when I'm not even home. So that's pretty cool.
Dare you do that?
Yeah, I do.
Wow.
I do. I've done it a lot, actually. I don't do it quite so much anymore, but I just don't print that much anymore. But initially, that's what I was doing all the time because I wasn't at home that much. And so I've never taken like an SD card and put a file on it and put it in my printer and printed it. Never. Because I set up Octoprint the first day, and it was pretty easy. Like way before I was brave enough to take apart my nozzle, my hot end, like you just did, way before I ever touched it with a wrench, I was using Octoprint. So
I'm always diving in and just want to know how the internal works before I start using like the external stuff. I don't know. It's just, I don't know, weird habits, I guess. I don't know.
3D printing when you're not home is kind of a bad idea. No, I'm not worried about it catching on fire. I mean, I've got a Lulzbot, I'm not worried about it exploding. It's not a $200 non-branded knockoff thing.
Lulzbot, that's that company that went out, right?
They did, and then they didn't. So they did. I think
right.
So
they went bankrupt, but they didn't.
I think that's how it works around in the U.S. We go bankrupt and then we stay in business. I don't understand. But yes, I think their problem was they were trying to. I mean, they're selling printers that were, $2,500 when, a comparable printer that they didn't put together for you was half that much. And so I think they really started taking a hit when sub $500 printers became reliable. And I don't even know how they're staying in business at this point, but they are, or they're back in business or whatever. I don't know. I wouldn't buy another one. I bought that one because at the time it was like this was like 2000, I don't even remember, 14, 15, something like that. And it was out of the box, put a couple things together.
You can buy 7 printers for that price nowadays.
I could now, right? Yeah, no, I would never do that now. I would never buy that much for a printer now. But back then I wanted one that I didn't have to play with because I didn't know anything and I wanted it to work. And so that was what I went with.
That's true. Well, I got one of the new Creality printers. Like this is like the brand spanking new model stuff, and it's really nice. But I must be honest, you can tell it's like dirty cheap in many cases. Like the software isn't finished. Like I should not cancel in the first layer, or else it will try to embed the nozzle in my bed. And like if you say send it a change filament command, then it will just like ignore it and continue printing. And like there are many of those like little things that that aren't right. It has like something really nice, like if you have a power outage or cut off power, it can resume the print, so that's kind of nice. But it fails to like store the bed leveling, so it will just resume without the leveling and then crash into itself. Like that's like it is still a cheap printer. It's not like you buy indeed a Lulzbot or an Ultimaker kind of machine, but I think it's fun. Like for the price, I actually had some really fun moments this week.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, welcome to the club. I'm glad you made it.
Right.
I've seen several people ask me about this analog clock. It's just a custom card that I found in Lovelace. It's just custom card, custom clock card. So that's it.
Hey, 3 more times. Do it quick now.
Custom clock. Do it. So front end, and then just go in here and search for custom clock card. Gosh.
Right, can now go fix 3D printing software. Sweet. Well, no.
No. Let you stay. You keep doing what you're doing. You keep doing what you're doing.
Sounds better.
There is a whole bigger, I mean, as big as the home automation tinkering world is, the 3D printer tinkering world is probably bigger. There's even more people that have been doing it for a long time. And so people are talking about things like changing firmware on your printer and stuff. And I haven't gotten into that. I know we have some people there's definitely overlap. We're the same group of nerds, right? So there are some people that will tell you what to do and how to make it do better. But it's just a matter of time.
Yes, says next up, WLED lights for Frank's house. Well, if you look behind me, like under the TV, right here, there,
that. Yeah,
that's WLED.
Frank's a WLED guy. That was one of the. Well, I mean, that's the reason that WLED is so well integrated into Home Assistant, because we got Frank.
It will get better in 1.18. There's an improvement in 1.17, I think.
There is. Yes, there is. I saw it. It had to do with selecting the palettes.
Yeah, that's added by Timo. Timo added the service for the palettes.
Yeah, which is great. That's awesome.
Today I merged a contribution from who I forgot the name. Sorry about that. But he added preset support.
Oh, fantastic! Oh, that's fantastic! Oh, that's awesome! Great. What is all this decons? I didn't look at too much about the details, but just improved decons. There's a lot of improved decon stuff in 1.17. Don't know. Okay.
I've not been using decons lately.
Is that right? You using ZHA? What are you doing? Or are you not doing Zigbee?
No.
ZHA. Yeah.
Yeah.
I still just have them both. Whatever's working, I just leave it. I've added the ZHA.
I'm kind of leaning towards the same thing at this point, because like both have pros and cons. I cannot decide. Like I feel like I'm like ping ponging between them.
Yeah, I don't feel like I really liked ZHA, and when I set up new devices, that's what I'll use. But it's not so much different that I need to go back and take things out of decons and redo them with ZHA. So I just let it go. Is Home Assistant still written in Python? Blade says.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Python all the way. The same as Octoprint, by the way, which is also written in Python. Kind of like interesting fact.
I got into 3D printing way before Home Assistant. I can guarantee that it is a lot more tinkering. Yeah. Today, I'm safe to say that I'm stable with my printer, but that's always a long way. I will be getting another 3D printer pretty soon. I have my Lulzbot.
You had the Creality one, right? You had the resin printer.
Yep, I do. I have the resin printer, and I think I'm gonna just get another just an Ender 3, just something simple for smaller stuff, because I like my Lulzbot to use the Morstruder to make these big honking things. I've got my big old honking
You're looking
dice
for
tower
the
thing
Ender 3.
An hour. Uh-huh.
You now have the Ender 3 Feed 2, which is already a big improvement.
Uh-huh.
But if you want like the auto bed leveling stuff and shite, you should look into the CR6 that I got. Like that's like the Ender 3 on steroids. Like all the hacks and stuff people want are practically factory delivered and on it already.
Okay.
So that's why I went with this one, because I didn't want like the old tinkering approach. I really wanted to have something that I could like turn on and put an SD card in and hit print, which I learned painfully in the first 2 days that is not how 3D printing works.
Oh, it does. Just buy a Lulzbot for $2,500. You can do that.
A bankrupt company, which isn't bankrupt. Yeah. No, I like that's the reason I went with this one, because like the Ender 3 is like a lot of people like put all these things on it. And all out tweaking, and communities are modding it, and like you need some kind of BL touch for bed leveling. And I was like, I don't want that shit. I just want like a printer. I want to hit start, and I want to hit print, and then print comes out like the laser printer you buy nowadays, right? But no, that's not how it works. But still, the bed leveling has been not a concern for me. Like that's just working out of the box, and I think that is still a big win from this new printer compared to the Ender 3, because bed leveling, as far as I understand, isn't a fun job to do.
I do it manually on my Lulzbot. It's not. It takes 15 minutes at least. So I don't do it every time, fortunately.
do the every print because it's just too darn easy.
Well, so I'm doing it from, it's a free one from Banggood, and I don't remember which version it was. I know it's version 2, and I think it's the Pro, and I can't remember what else was going on with it, but it was, they want, I don't like doing product stuff very much anymore at all. And I've been telling them, I could do it if you just let me do it on a live stream and I can just talk about it. That's great. But don't ask me to make a whole video about a product. I just don't want to do it anymore. So anyways, I picked one and that's what they're sending. So we'll see when it gets here. But I just want something I can print small things. What's that?
I kind of find it amusing. Like if I see sometimes, and don't be offended by the way, but sometimes I see like a video review coming by, like especially in the days when you had some product review, and like you can just like if you open a video, you can just taste the fact that you're doing this because it's a review, right? And it's not like it's okay, and it's interesting in a lot of ways at some point, like especially the reason how do you call it, raisin printer, like it was interesting for me to watch, but still there's like that little, I don't know, it's a bit unnatural maybe.
I think it is. I have a hard time, like I really like being genuine, and when I'm doing those things I can't totally be right. Even for me, I'm trying to be genuine, but when somebody's, they're expecting something, and there's always going to be a bias, and that bias shows up, and you can see it in my eyes. I'm not a liar, but I'm horrible when I'm biased. So anyways,
how's the resin printer now, for real?
I haven't used it again. It's still in the closet. It's covered with an inch of dust. But that's I like it and I want it and I would love to use it and it works really well. I just don't have enough interest or time to really to use it again. My boys were just coming in to tell me the other day, they're like, "Oh, we want to make a chess set." They want to print chess pieces. Well, that resin printer would be fantastic for printing chess pieces. But I don't want to do it. I mean, it'd take me a whole day, to do that. And I can't spare it. So, if I ask them, I love them. And anything that they can't do well, it's only because I haven't taught them well. But man, if I turned them loose on that resin printer, it would be a nightmare. They would be in the emergency room probably.
It looks so darn messy. Like
it is messy.
Some people are like suggesting the Pursa Mini. I've been actually looking at a printer as well for small things.
Yeah.
But yeah. I don't know.
My Lulzbot that does the big things, I use it a lot for things like I need a bracket. The kids, we've got like 12 headsets in the little toy room over here, and they're just all over the place. They're all over the floor and everything else. So I went to Thingiverse, found a mount, printed 12 of them, stuck them to the wall. Like that's what I want my printer for now at this point. And I want those things to print out in like 20 minutes. I don't want to wait like 3 hours or a day for them to print. I want them now. And so that's why my big printer is so good. And I just don't want to change the head all the time. So that's why. Anyways, I thought it would be worthwhile to get a small one. I don't know exactly where I'm going to put it. My closet is filling up. I can't really fit much else in my closet at this point. We've got 2 3D printers, a vinyl cutter, and then, just boxes and boxes of parts of all kinds of things.
On my desk right now, but it is new, so I think it's allowed.
Yeah. You'll move it. You'll move it at some point. Well,
we'll see.
We'll see. Good times. So Absolutely. This was cool. Now I've got the means to manage my template thing up here. Now, can I click things while it's here? Can I?
Yes. It just works as a normal browser.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, great. So I'm going to totally do this.
So I had to mind jump a bit, but I know where you're at right now. So you're looking at like the resized development screen of
sorry. Yes, you haven't been paying. You can't see me. You have a great imagination.
Holy shit.
Well, but yeah, and I actually looking up here in the URL at the top, which you also cannot see. But all it does, I just did the. Oh no, it doesn't. Oh, I was hoping that there would be a way that it would keep all of this, whatever developer mode stuff open, but it doesn't. Right? I'd have to redo that when I refresh this page, probably. I thought it was in the URL, but it's not.
It's not in the URL. You can just open and click it with the Control-Shift-I, F11, F12. I don't know what it is in Windows.
Hey, baby. Zach's back.
Yes.
Take dev off. Got a bell. Close the window box. Why would I want to do that? Close this window box over here. Oh. No, I want that window box. F12 opens it back up. And then it's set to, good. It's still set on this page. I wonder if it's going to do that now on every page, but that's okay.
Yes.
Yeah, F12 on Windows is what does it. Cool. Well, it's almost time to end the stream for the day.
I'm going like offline for real though.
Okay. Well, Frank, thanks.
Thanks for the
sign
talk.
off.
Was awesome. Sign
off, my friend. Yeah. Let's get you gotta choo homies, everybody here. I wish you could play your little graphics or something, but we've all missed you. We're glad to have you today for a little bit, and just
kind
know
of fun
that.
To be on though.
Good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
And just know that when you do make a comeback, or you decide you want to fire up the stream, we'll be there.
I might just surprise you upcoming week with something else. Maybe.
Ooh.
No promises made.
Oh, I love it. All right, let's call up the kids and let's get this sign off going here. Sign off. Let's see. Should work.
Sign off.
Yep, it's working.
You still have the cube?
What's that?
You still have the cube?
I do have the cube. I don't know if the cube's working anymore or not. I have them. They've been sitting on my desk, but I haven't used them so much anymore. I just have a button on my Stream Deck that I use to call them up. Oh my goodness. Hold on. That's my cord for my headset.
Sign off in Dutch. Oh, that would be scary.
We could all pretend like we speak Dutch.
I want to see you imagine how that would sound. I'm not giving
Okay,
you
here's how we're gonna do it. We're not gonna be Dutch words. The best we can do, the closest we can come, and this might be offensive, is gonna be the dude from Frozen.
Oh,
he's from Frozen.
Yeah, from Frozen, right? The guy with the yoo-hoo, big summer blowout. That guy. What's his name? Okay, that's how we're going to sign off today. Okay, we're going to sign off like it's a big summer blowout. Okay, ready? I don't even know if I can do this, but you guys can do it, right? Okay. Oh, this is going to be bad. Hold on, I got to get it in my head.
Nou, in ieder geval, bedankt voor het kijken en tot de volgende keer allemaal. Fijne avond.
Okay. Yoo-hoo! Big summer blowout. Yeah. Oh, as always, thanks for watching. Until the next time, adios. We just sounded like we sounded like the Queen. We sounded like the Queen of Great Britain instead. All right, man. Oh, that was good times. All right, Frank. Hey, thanks again, buddy. Good chatting.
Later.
Adios, everybody. Oh, man.